Type this in the chat. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Hey, how you pin comments? Or does mine automatically pin? Okay. I need an Instagram tutorial. Alright, y'all, check it out. Today we're going over trustology. Today inside of trustology, we're going over the important laws regarding trust. So these are some of the important laws regarding trust. So the first law is called the Uniform Trust Code. So that's UTC. So just like we have the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, we have the Uniform Trust Code, UTC, that governs, is the law that governs, one of the laws that governs trust. So the UTC is a model of law that has been adopted in various forms by many states within the United States, and it provides a comprehensive set of rules for the creation, administration, and termination of trust. All right, so UTC is used for the creation, administration, and termination of trust. Number two is Trust Indenture Act. The Trust Indenture Act of 1939. So the federal law requires that certain types of trusts, such as these, be used for securities, security offerings, and they must adhere to specific disclosure and reporting requirements. So this is what we use, the Trust Indenture Act of 1939. The Internal Revenue Code, IRC. So IRC contains the provisions that govern the taxation of trusts, including rules for income tax, estate tax, and gift tax. All right, so this is the IRS code that governs the taxation of your trust and how your trust gets taxed. We also have the ERISA, which stands for the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. So this is the federal law that sets the standards for the administration of employee benefit plans, including trusts used for retirement and savings. All right. Another section inside the Internal Revenue Code is IRC Section 641. So this section of the code defines the trust as a separate legal entity for tax purposes and sets out the rules for the taxation of the trust. All right. So that's pretty much means that, which we all know, a trust is a separate legal person anyway. So this would be the particular code within the IRS that governs the taxation of that separate legal person. Also, we have IRC Section 643, which is a section of the code that sets out for the rules for the calculation of taxable income for trusts, including deductions that are allowed. All right. So when your trust starts doing, if you have like a business trust and stuff like that, and you're doing business, so the trust actually has income coming in as opposed to donations and stuff like that. That would be the tax code that would help that would govern that. We have IRC Section 645. So this section of the code allows certain types of trusts, such as revocable trusts, to be treated as part of a grantor's estate for tax purposes. All right. So this would be included in your typical personal trust and estate planning. You see what I mean? So keep that in mind. That's IRC Section 645. That would be more so in relation to your typical living trust and estate plan. We have Section 651. So this section of the IRC, this section of the code requires the trustee to file a tax return for each year of the trust. and report the income and deductions. So that's the responsibility of the trustee as it relates to particular types of trust. These are primarily your personal trust. Let me see. Section 677 is a section of the code that sets out that rules the grantor for grantor trusts, which are trusts that are created and that are treated as the grantor's own property for tax purposes. Lastly, we have section 679. This section of the code sets out the rules for foreign trusts. All right, this is very important for all my foreign trustees and grantors out there, which should be a majority of the people that are part of the Malachian Empire. So IRC section 679 is the code that sets out the rules for foreign trusts, which are trusts that are established outside of the United States. Again, IRC section 679. So people that be having tax questions and stuff like that, you got to make sure whatever tax professional, CPA, or consultant that's going to be doing any type of tax preparation and stuff like that is following the guidelines within the IRC section 679 as it relates to your foreign trust. And it being a foreign trust, why? Because either A, the trust was established in foreign territory outside the United States, like physically in another country, or because the legal person, the grantor or the creator of the trust is a foreign person or foreign to the corporation. So it's two different things, two separate things. But either one of those two factors would determine if a trust would actually have a foreign classification. We got a shitload of other laws. We got trust banking laws. We're not gonna get into that, but we'll run through it. We have the BSA. So BSA is the Bank Secrecy Act. All right. So also the UTC is also a body of law that governs the banking laws. And also we always been talking about this. I've been mentioning this quite often lately. These last two right here, which is number 4 within the trust banking laws, which is KYC. KYC, which is know your customer, which is the system that's embedded within the technology of financial institutions, which require to verify the identity of their customers, including trustees and beneficiaries of the trust. And they say, and this is implemented to prevent money laundering and other financial crimes, blah, blah, blah. I get that, but understand what that means for you and your privacy. I've been saying KYC a lot lately. Again, that is used by financial institutions and that are required to verify the identity of their customers. And number 5 is AML. AML is financial institutions they're required to have policies and procedures in place to deduct and prevent money laundering, which may include monitoring transactions related to trust. Now, AML is used regardless if it's a trust or not. You know what I'm saying? AML is another form of technology. Even though this is a law, right? It's also a technology, right? It's a form of technology. Like an example of this technology could be Zelle. Zelle has the KYC and AML technology. So when a bank affiliates itself with Zelle or adopts Zelle within their banking structure, and in relation to each individual person's bank account, they now have also adopted the KYC and AML bodies of law, as well as the technology that goes along with that. So we got that's the one of the most important things we got to understand is it's a combination of of law and technology. So we have the technology, and then we have the law that governs the technology. Two different things, but they're not trying to explain that. But anyway, y'all need to grab y'all copy. It's now available, hard copy. Text the link, text Trustology to 312-283-0763 to get your copy. Orders will go out within 48 hours. Hard copies are available now. Text Trustology to 312-283-0763. JHS_JD Production. What's going on with you? JHS JD Production. What's up? What we got on here? All right, y'all. Any questions before I tap out of there? I just want to give y'all a little sermon from the Trustology handbook. Best banks for business trust. Well, it depends on location. So first we have to understand that a business trust is not a standard business structure anymore. Majority of commercial banks are built and managed based on standard. So current standards is LLCs and traditional corporations. So business trusts are particularly foreign in general when it comes to formation, structure, and banking. So that means you have to do your homework to find out what banks are open or accustomed to dealing with that type of structure and that are able to deal with that type of structure, right, without the hassle. Now, majority of them can do it, but it's just a hassle. When it becomes a hassle, just go on to the next bank. And like I said, it's typically the more private banks, smaller banks, community banks, or banks and trusts, and stuff like that. Now, like I said, it depends on where you're at. Now, one bank that has shown me to be very competent on a multitude of different bank business structures, whether they're used to it or not, they have a team that seem to know how to get things done expeditiously without a lot of extra stuff. And that bank is First Financial Bank. First Financial Bank is now at the top of my list when it comes to number one bank as it relates to having various business options, business structure options. So whether I want to establish a personal trust account, an LLC account, a nonprofit account, a private ministries account, an unincorporated association account, a business trust account, a private business trust account, they seem to be able to get it done. Now, you do need to be competent to certain degrees to be able to give them proper instruction, and I believe once with that proper instruction, they're able to send the documentation, the formation documentations regarding that trust to the proper party and get things rolling. Let me see. Now, a bank that a more common bank that's that you'll typically have access to that have branches throughout the United States is PNC Bank. Now, I'm not saying that they're the best bank or that I like them per se, but what I will say is that they're a more common bank and more national bank or whatever like that. But they have a particular type of account. So they have an account called an unincorporated association, right? So unincorporated association is a type of business trust, right? So when it comes to banking, we have to understand how the verbiage changes when it relates to banking. You know, when you're communicating, you know, and relaying information in relation to your business with the IRS, the language is going to change from the IRS as opposed to the actual bank. The things that you're going to say to the IRS to establish like your EIN number and stuff like that for your business trust, for your foreign business trust, is not going to be the same language you bring it to the bank, because they don't understand banking. The bank doesn't understand IRS terms, and IRS doesn't understand. Well, they do, but they just don't comply to them. I'll say it like that. I'll say it like that. You know, so if I'm communicating about my business trust to the IRS, I know I don't need to be saying the words. They don't understand the words business trust, right? Especially if it's private. So they understand the term grantor trust or foreign grantor trust if it's a foreign business trust. And with that is they only deal with tax classification of structure. So the tax classification of a business trust structure is considered a foreign grantor trust to the IRS. Now, when we go to the bank, it depends on what bank. If we go to PNC Bank or any banks like it, it will be our translational language will be not grantor, foreign grantor trust. It will be unincorporated association. If it is a private business trust. If it's a public business trust, that means that they can go to the Secretary of State website and search and find the actual business or whatever. But only particular states have public business trusts available, such as Indiana, I believe Wyoming, I believe Nevada, and a few other places. They scattered around. There's not a lot of them when it comes to business trust as far as public. Of course, I opened up a bank account with a foreign EIN. I only have foreign EIN numbers. I don't have domestic EIN numbers. I only have, every last one of my EIN numbers are foreign. So yes, of course. Every business every EIN number to every business I establish has been foreign for many years. Now I may have both public and private organizations, but as far as the EIN number and the legal person related to that EIN number for that particular business is always foreign. All right, y'all. Holler at y'all in a minute. Just want to give y'all that quick snippet. Make sure y'all text Trustology to 312-283-0763. If this is not on your shelf and you are in the sovereign community, the conscious community as it relates to knowledge, wisdom, understanding, information, and you damn well better not be no business consultant doing trust and estate planning and you don't have Trustology. But then outside of that, every last person in the universe needs to have a trust. If you don't have a trust for yourself and your family, you shouldn't trust that you're gonna leave nobody with nothing. You shouldn't trust that you should have any type of real security for yourself and for your family. So trust is a topic that relates to everybody, just in case everybody didn't know. Because some people like, oh, that don't apply to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this type of business, or I do this type of work, so I don't, this don't apply. No, trust applies to everybody, just in case everybody just didn't realize that by now. Trust is the start and the end of everything. All right, y'all. Peace.